Hey there YouTubers and fellow programmers, I'm Dex, and this is a tutorial series to teach you the fundamentals of x86 assembly, as well as some advanced topics about the language, of course. This is my first series ever, so it's lacking a little bit of structure. I have an agenda, but it's not set in stone, so things are open to change and modification, so don't get upset if something changes. Just let me know. My setup's also a little bit awkward. I'll probably be used to it by the next couple tutorials. I just got a new desk, so it's really high. My arms are propped up weird, so when I'm typing I miss keys sometimes now, and I'm not used to it. I don't really have any other excuses for you, so if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, just leave them in the comments below. I'll take a look at them and implement them when necessary. With that said, let's get going. Alright, so this will be available for download in the description. It's just a text file, and just give you my info. This is my info. It'll tell you the topic, the author. It'll most likely just be me the entire series. I don't know for sure yet. Email. Shoot me an email if you want, if you have questions or you want to talk to me about things. I don't care, really. You can just email me whatever. Just don't spam it, or I'll find you. The date of recording and the catalog of what we'll be learning. It could change by the next tutorial, so don't rely on just the first one. Right now it's broken down into episodes, chapters, whatever you'd like to call it, and this is the first one, introduction. The next one's going to be number systems, and there's going to be 4 parts to it. I'm going to introduce you to it and work with conversions, then talk to you about the stack and all that good stuff, and then so on and so forth. So that's how that's all going to work. It might change, it might not. My structure's a little off. I need to figure out this whole video tutorial thing to become efficient at it. So, with that said, welcome to the world of assembly. It's a living hell, but it's fun. It's really interesting. First of all, what is assembly? Well, as you all know, it's a low-level programming language and one of the older programming languages. Assembly language allows direct access to computer hardware, which in turn requires you to understand quite a bit on how the computer works, essentially the computer architecture and how the operating system and all that tie together. Learning assembly is also invaluable since literally everything translates into assembly, which has a close relationship with machine code. So if you're on the road to becoming a C++ programmer, it's detrimental to your success to develop an understanding of how memory addressing instructions work beneath your application. Now, I'm not going to be covering an extreme amount of assembly, but you'll be much more competent about the basic architecture of a computer and low-level programming. And no, don't ask me, don't suggest it. You're not going to be creating an operating system, in quotes, people ask me that sometimes, or game hack in straight assembly. That's ridiculous. No. That might change. There might be some other things that are really hard to do and that we'll do so you can get some good practice, but don't hold your breath. And if you're doubting the value of learning assembly language right now, understand that if you can't go into low-level detail of how something works, you don't know it well enough. It's great that you know how something works and that you can go into the lowest detail, because then you can throw it into your application to a decompiler, and you can see something like move EAX, dword pointer SS, ABC XYZ, and you know what that means. And in certain low-level and hardware situations, assembly is required. And if you need precise control over what your program is doing, a high-level language usually can't do that. So any way you put it, assembly language is extremely useful, and really you're in control of what you're doing. So essentially, like I said right there, you're a taxi driver. You're the taxi driver, but with all these high-level languages, you're just the passenger in the taxi. And the only thing that's holding you back in assembly is the hardware that you own and that's installed in your system. You are the almighty ruler. Now, a little bit of background before diving into this whole assembly mystical world. I would recommend you know at least one, if not 2, high-level languages such as C++, Python, Java, C#, doesn't matter. Just understand conditional statements, functions, pointers, and arrays, because you're going to be dealing with those quite a lot in later areas. Don't worry, it's not in the beginning, obviously, but it's important to know how they work. So that right there is one thing. You're also going to need a few pieces of software. That's going to be Microsoft Visual Studio 2010. I'm going to add that in here so you don't need to memorize these if you don't want. ASM, which comes with that, or 2012, whatever you want to call it. You're going to need a text editor, a brain, and time, because it's not going to be just a walk in the park all the time. So that's it for the introduction. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for the next videos, and let me know if you have any questions or you just want to chat. Doesn't matter to me. I'm open to whatever. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.